You know what's so funny? Blessed and highly favored. When I first met LaRussell and we hung out, I told him, you better feel lucky. And I didn't even know at the time, but that was how I felt about myself. And I was like coming into this transition period of just like betting it all on myself. I was coming out of a relationship and I felt really like broken down and like I needed to rebuild myself. And when I finally met LaRussell and was able to talk to him, that was like 8-10 months post breakup. And I just felt like a power and a force to be reckoned with. And I wasn't even doing anything substantial. It was really just like inner work at home of just being focused and, getting my mindset right and everything. But when I met him, I was like, you better feel lucky. For me, it was like that I'm giving you like time or whatever, like just a joke. But he brought it up after that. And it made me realize like I was speaking of myself as if I was already who I am 3 years later. I had no idea the effect I was going to have on his life, but I also did.
Because you never know, once again, that it's happening when it's happening. You were planting a seed.
It's happening.
You were planting a seed and it's happening. You guys grew a motherfucking garden up in this thing.
Man, he has a bar in a song that was like moved T to the V in 2022, copped a new estate in 2023. And I was just like, damn.
It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad.
Kind of excited.
I hope so.
I feel like you're a great interviewer, so it's going to
Thank
be interesting.
You. That means the world. What is it that like makes another person think another person is a great interviewer? Because like that's lost in my mind. Because I only know how I interview and I'll watch other podcasts, but I try not to compare.
Yeah. I feel like you ask great questions. They're not like generic questions. And you also are like, you add in playful banter. So it feels like a conversation that we're just witnessing instead of it being like cue cards. And when somebody asks a question and it's like, so tell me about your childhood. And they're like, yeah, it was dark and sad and I had a terrible time. And they're like, okay, that's great. So what about when it's like,
yeah,
not fluid.
And it's also dependent on how the person's receiving it. Because I've definitely done some interviews where like I'm trying to lean toward conversation. But after that person answers the question, they'll sit there and they'll okay, like what's next? And then I have to like accommodate for that. But you're such a good conversationalist that I feel that I don't even like I'll ask questions throughout this, but I feel like as if I could just talk to you.
Yeah, that's funny. My thought before I was coming, I was like, okay, try to stay on topic. Because the last couple interviews I watched back were like cringe. I was like, you answered the question 5 minutes ago. Why are you still talking?
But that's so funny that you think you're cringe because you're quite the opposite.
Wow.
Because I was watching your interview with Neighborhood Heroes. And you were saying that you get so shy and nervous for interviews, which blows my mind because to me, you speak so well and you seem like you're such a great conversationalist.
Wow. Thank you. Received.
Like you're killing
Appreciate
it.
That.
You really are killing it.
Thank you. That was he's great at interviewing too.
Yeah, he's cool. I don't know the guy, but he seems so welcoming. And even if he's like stumbling on something or doesn't remember what the question's going to be, there's something so charming about that.
Yeah, he's very personable.
Exactly. And that's half of doing this damn thing.
Agreed.
It's like it does your questions and what you prep for the person is just half the battle. But like at the end of the day, it's Christian and Tietta.
Right. If you're sitting there and you're like odd, then the whole, like you can feel it through the camera. It's like crickets. Insert cricket sound here.
I'm so excited for this.
Interview already started?
Nah, we'll do a proper intro and then we'll get into it. But no, I'm really stoked about this. Baddies, welcome to another episode of ICB2B Podcast. Today I am joined by the great Tietta, who I got to meet a few months ago when I had LaRussell come through. And without even saying much to you, you had this nonverbal energy to you that I don't know if you know, but there's something so gravitating about you. And is that something that you get often?
Kind of, I guess, in a sense. Not in those words. That was, quite the compliment. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, you came in with smiles. You were considerate. The way that people, like, you'll remember how someone introduces themselves and how they say goodbye. And I remember specifically how you did that. Especially in a group setting, it's easy to forget that. But like, there's something about you, and I'm not surprised that LaRussell trusts you with so much, and that you are such a significant fixture in this team.
Wow. Sheesh. He's trying to put a ring on me. All right, buddy.
Yeah, no, there's truly something about you. Like, where do you think that stems from? That's such a trait that I don't like to throw around willy-nilly because I've met so many people, but that one, without you doing much, like you're doing something.
Just here.
Yeah.
Insert crickets. No, just kidding. I think a lot of my personality comes from lack, like early on, and just like a lot of what I've learned has been from what I don't want to be or how I don't want to make people feel. And so I always try to be the opposite of like, when you have a terrible experience and you're like, ah, I never want to experience that again. Yeah. So in your brain, you're like, well, I don't ever want anybody to experience that from me. And it's just been like a constant build on that. I don't think I've always been the most welcoming and loving person, actually. Like, I used to be kind of mean and like rigid and like closed off. Yeah. I mean, other people might not think that. You have like a different perception of yourself.
Of course.
But I think it's been something I've intentionally worked on. Like, I just want to be a good person, and I want people to feel good when they're around me.
And I think, obviously from what I was saying 5 minutes ago, you're doing that. When do you think that transition happened, when you came into awareness that like, oh, I'm actually not mean, but I'm beyond that, becoming like self-aware that you don't want to be mean? When did that happen?
I actually really remember it. Shout out to college. Taught me a lot. I didn't have like loving friends. Well, like, we always just like crack jokes, and it was a lot more like playful banter. Like, that you love each other, but it's not like a lot of like affirmations and hugs and things. It's just like, what up, ugly? And it's like, it's cool. Like, I know that you're kidding, but as you grow and you come into new spaces with people who didn't grow up in those environments, and you have that type of energy, people are like, okay, that was rude, uncalled for. And it's like, eventually you realize, like, I'm saying mean things playfully all day. That's actually kind of mean. Like, you never fill it in with anything nice. And I had two really good female friends in college, Bella and Gabby. And they just had this like warm, loving, kind, but also playful energy about them. And it, like, I remember having the thought in my head of like, you can be soft and still be like respected and considered. Like, I felt like I had to be like hard and rigid in order for people to not like step all over me or walk all over me. And they were just like really great examples of how to be a powerful, strong, yet soft woman. Wow. And I remember like witnessing them and taking on like some of their traits and being like, I want to be like that, or I like that about you. And, just kind of trying to like model that in my own life. And then eventually I feel like I came out of that. Like, I still have like that playful mean side, mostly towards like my guy friends. But yeah, I try to, even when I hear myself being like mean too much, I'm in my head, I'm like, all right, chill out.
And that's a beautiful trait to have, like awareness for everything, balance for everything, because there's nothing wrong with having that kind of love language where you tease.
Yeah.
That's actually how I function better. Like right now, you and I are getting to know each other.
Yeah.
But I think my goal of getting to know Tietta would be like, it'd be cool if she were to just throw some shade at me. That means like
I probably will.
That I hope so. At the end of this podcast, just berate me.
People are like, damn. Just roasted him for like 10 minutes.
I'm just here crying because I'm that sensitive. Nah.
Camera cuts off.
We're not putting out the episode. No, because I grew up being such a nice guy. That the way that I functioned was always being so nice, and people took advantage of that.
Yeah.
And then the pendulum swung the other direction, and where I learned to like be kind of sarcastic, and that's I think where like my comedic bones started growing.
Yeah.
But then I realized that I started, like not everyone understands sarcasm or that kind of banter, and I would hurt them. And now now that I'm 30 years old, I've found the balance of like, hey, like we could be a little playful, but at the end of the day, I'm sure that the way that you and LaRussell communicate, because I've seen your vlogs and I've seen you like, you know, annoy him, you know, put your camera right up in his face and whatnot. But then at the end of the day, you know that it's love because there's actual affirmations out there.
I think it's important to know your audience.
Yeah.
Like that was the realization that I had. I had very tender friends, and it was like, we in our household, we don't play mean. We don't say mean things to each other as a joke. And I had to realize like, okay, so you also don't want friends like that. So I need to learn how to be more soft and considerate. And, you know, I have like Splash. When he came along, he has that energy about him where it's like roasting and jokes. So like he usually gets the majority of my roasts throughout the day because he's just like, I know that he's a safe zone of like, he's not going to take it personal, you know? But other people like Sarai for me is like, I never say anything mean to her, or if I do, I'm always like, I'm so sorry, like, and she's not even tender. It's just like, I don't know, the relationship, like I never want to even like hurt her feelings a little bit.
Sometimes it's just a pheromonal thing, you know. There is something that I get about you where like, okay, obviously right off the bat you can be real sweet, real tender, but man, if you're ready for like a roast battle,
I can do it, I can handle it.
I'm sure you can. I'm definitely sure that you can. And it's obvious that you come from a tender and sweet place because like even in your poetry, god damn, dude, you're a great poet.
Thank you.
You are an amazing poet too.
I appreciate that.
And it's a beautiful thing that you guys got going because knowing that your poetry is present in LaRussell's tracks, like Lead Me to the Water is the thing that opens up Hit Boy's project.
Crazy.
And that like to hear your voice introduce this dope collaboration.
Yeah.
What does that do for you?
That was a big one for me. It's not often that we meet people and I actually know who they are. Like I'd be unaware. So I'm usually unimpressed. But I knew who Hit Boy was through, I mean, he's incredible. He's been on a whole bunch of projects. And then come to find out that he was on things that I didn't even know. Like he was bigger than even my excitement could realize. So to open up a Hit Boy project was like, wow, in and of itself. And then to open up that specific project, like that's a hell of a piece of work.
The fact that, you introduce this project. How does it feel that not only are you so good at the business end of things and like taking what LaRussell's doing and like having made the blueprint and formatting in such a way for it to be palatable for the algorithm. On top of them, you that's so objective, right? That's numbers and everything. But the subjective part, the art, your artistry is also shining. How does that feel that you got both of those rolling? Sheesh.
Man, it feels great. It feels great. Immediately I start like picking it apart. But the truth of the matter is that they are both going. And that was I never saw the artistry part for myself. Wow. So that's a really cool like bonus, you know? I'm grateful. I'm really grateful.
I mean, it's so crazy that you don't see that. Like even as you're surrounded by artists all the time, singers, rappers, and I'm sure that, have you ever gotten this compliment that your voice, you sound like you have a singer's voice? Have you heard that before?
I hear it a lot, especially now that I do poetry, where people are like, you have a great voice for audio, which I never thought. I always thought I had like I don't know. People just be picking themselves apart for no reason, so it doesn't even matter.
I mean, I'm sure it doesn't. You've spoken on like previous interviews before that. What I like is that, you know, as creatives, like we could get stuck in this realm of feeling the imposter syndrome of beating ourselves down. But like sometimes when you're asked the question, you're just like, I don't even spend time dwelling in that realm. Yeah. Because the work shows for itself. You're here for a reason, meaning that like, why should you let that like little chatter that we all have beat us down? Why are you letting that be loud at all?
Right. And it's ever present. It's like, even just in this conversation, it's hard to receive compliments because that little voice is like, that's not real. That's not real. Or this isn't, he doesn't know. And it's like, if you let that voice like have a say in your day to day, it will cripple you.
It will.
It will really cripple you, and you won't get anything done. And it's just not worth it. That voice is always going to be there, and you should just use it as motivation to prove it wrong. So every time I'm like, it's not really that great or whatever, it's like, okay, then work on your craft. Work on it until you feel like it's better, or keep working at it till you don't feel like an imposter, but don't let it win.
Yeah. What are some ways that you, because it's obvious that you're a hard worker from like your background where you came from, you went to UC Berkeley, like it's obvious that you've worked your way here.
Yeah.
Like, cause this realm that I get stuck in is I don't have ADHD or ADD, but I get so distracted or I feel like I'm spread thin.
Yeah.
That I pacify myself. When you're at home and you don't want to do the work, if you don't want to edit that vlog, what are ways that you trick your mind into just getting the work done?
Inaction for me is more uncomfortable than the work. Like to sit idly is really, really difficult. And I actually have to like force myself to sit. Like sometimes I'll be like, literally as soon as I wake up, I'll start cleaning or I'll wash dishes or I'm straight to the gym or whatever. And I'll have to remind myself that it's important to just kind of sit and be sometimes. So getting the work done is never difficult for me. It's more like there's not enough hours in the day to get all the work done that I want to get done, you know? So I don't really relate to like that. I feel like that's a blessing for me, that like motion for me feels great. Like it feels good to complete a task, to get something done, to be like, I have this to do and I got it done. And now I get to go on to the next thing. You know, it's a win. And I take all my wins seriously.
That's
like just
good.
Getting up out of bed before noon is a win. You know, getting to the gym in the morning is a win. All these little wins, they add up. And next thing you know, you had a great day. You had a great week, great month, great life.
Wow, that's a way to put it. Because I feel like a lot of people nowadays, we forget those small W's.
Right?
We forget those small W's. Like I just came I'm happy that this is happening. Like I just came from Miami for like on a fucking bench. It was like my friend's like 30th birthday.
Wild.
And like it's a win for me that I'm here alive. That we're safe. Like how much you guys travel, like and you guys do it safely and like and able to execute along the way. That must blow your mind too. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially with like all the things that have been happening with the planes. I always get like nervous. We will always have this like Splash is super afraid of flying. And whenever we hit turbulence, we're all like, ain't no way.
Yep.
But we all know, and well, Larissa always says, and I always say, it's like, bro, I'm beyond blessed. Like if I'm on that plane, I know the plane's safe.
Yeah.
Because that's not how I'm going out. So yeah. We lucky I'm on this flight. That means it's going to touch down for sure.
I needed you on that flight last night because legit, like we looked out we were flying from St. Louis back to California and we looked out the window and it was hella turbulence and there was lightning. We were going through like a fucking thunderstorm. And I was ready, but you know, it's a small W that I'm here. I guess it's a big W.
That's a big W.
Yeah.
Live to tell the story.
Live to tell the story. Yeah, you've been through life a lot. I mean, it's beautiful like hearing your talks about what you've been through, like from age 5 to 14, the foster care system.
Yeah.
And what kind of texture that has given you, you know?
I like that word.
Because, I mean, and that's exactly what it is. I mean, I feel like in comparison to you, I feel two-dimensional because I went through my trials and tribulations between 5 and 14, but like I'm unaware.
Not the exact years.
Those same exact years.
I went through some things too.
I went through, but it's not
Lost
quite
my favorite
foster.
teddy bear, you know.
Oh shit! I mean, like if you want to go into detail about the things that I've lost, but no, like talk to me about like what were some specific moments do you think that you learned in that journey that have made Tietta who she is today?
Ooh, that's a good one. Specific moments. Man. Okay. I'll give you like a top 5.
Okay.
Maybe not top 5, but the first 5 that pop into my head. There's one big moment when I don't even know what age I was, like early elementary. In the foster home that I ended up like staying in for the majority of my adolescence, my whole family was there at one point, except for my oldest sister. But My sister and I stayed in this foster home, and then next door, my foster parents also did foster care and adopted kids. So my brothers stayed over there, which was like the most ideal situation where all four of us are together. But slowly but surely, you know, everybody ends up leaving. My brothers get kicked out because they're like fighting. They want to go to school. And it's just me and my sister at this point. And I remember waking up in the middle of the night. We shared a room, a bunk bed, and I was on the top bunk. And I see her climbing out of the window. And I'm like, what are you doing?
What?
She's like, I'm coming back. I'm thinking like, she gotta be like 14, 15 at this time, like early teenager. And I'm thinking maybe she's sneaking out to like go to a party or boys or whatever, you know? So I'm like scared for her, but I just go back to sleep. I'm like, when I wake up, she'll be back. And when I woke up in the morning, she wasn't back. And she had like run away from our foster home. And she's like, when she left, she said, I'm coming back. So I'm like, oh, she's going to come back for me. You know, she's probably just figuring it out. And she never came back.
Damn.
And it was heartbreaking to like, at that point now I'm alone in this foster home. And it was like, not the first time that I was alone in a foster home during all of those transitions, but it was the first time that I felt like abandoned.
Wow.
In that way, you know? And yeah, it was just hurtful. I wasn't really like angry or held it against her because nobody wants to be in foster care, you know? And they're older, so I know that their life experiences made it more unbearable than it was for me being that young. But yeah, that was heartbreaking. It made me very rigid and angry because it was like, it felt like there was nobody around who cared about me at that point.
Abandonment is such a heartbreaking word that, you know, people have the privilege to not be able to have in their life, you know? And you having experienced that at such a young age, what does healing even look like? Because I can't imagine. You know, I come from a home where my parents love each other, where I was blessed enough to have food on the table, roof over my head, clothes on my back. Like, what does healing look like that after you feel that alone?
I feel like you just go inward, honestly. And you just become like really self-reliant. And I don't know. I truly couldn't tell you what healing looks like because I don't think I'm fully healed. Wow. I think it's like it's a lifelong process. I'm still unlearning survival patterns or survival techniques that I use to like, you know, deal with that level of heartbreak that early, you know. I had to go inward, like become self-reliant and, you know, not really look outward for affirmation or acceptance and things like that. So now trying to unlearn that. Like when I met LaRussell, I was like, I don't like affection and all that stuff like that. I'm not really that kind of person. And it's like any person who says that is deeply broken. Like you clearly have some healing to do. And that was 3 years ago, you know? Nuts. So I've grown from there. Now, like I can hug and I can, you know, say kind words and I can give and receive love. But, you know, it's a lot of unlearning, I think, that you do throughout your life. You don't even realize what you pick up to survive in that moment that you don't need anymore later on down the road, that you have to learn how to let go, because the same walls that you build to protect you are the same ones that enclose you and keep you from the outside world. So,
oh man, and with something like what you've experienced, I'm sure the foundation that those walls are made of, it's just like, you can't break those down.
It'd be a lot.
And I feel honored to be able to get away with giving you like 3 or 4 compliments off the bat without you squaring up or something like that. Like,
you said you like me?
you said there's something about pheromones, my pheromones that are dope.
Think I'm kind?
Get the fuck out of my studio. You kicking me out.
No, I'm far removed from that. But yeah, that was an early lesson that, you know, I took with me for a while. I've since let go. Me and that sister are actually very close now. I love her dearly. Also, my freshman year of high school, I had not the first, but a very early realization that like the separation between being Black in a white world. Like, I knew it because I lived in a white foster home and things, and I felt the disconnection in being the only Black person in the space. But my freshman year was when I really became interested in boys and like wanting to be liked. And, you know, I had friends who were dating and who were sexually active, and it was like all these stories and house parties and things. And there was a guy who liked me, and I remember like he was friends with some other guys that were like in a PE class of mine. And I heard them talking to each other about him and being like, you know, I heard so-and-so likes Tietta. Like, he likes the Black girl. Ew. And it was like heartbreaking to overhear it be like problematic to like me because I was Black, you know? Like, there's so many other girls in like, to like the Black girl is like, he said, it was just like, it was such careless talk, but it was very, like, you bitch.
Yeah, that's fucked up. For that to be like the trait, though, the one that prevents someone else to like someone else, you know? It's really messed up because, you know what? That person is, they're missing out. You know, obviously, I hope.
That was great then.
Great then, even greater now.
Right.
I mean, because we are more than just our complexion. Shout out to MTMC, but you've come so far since then.
Right. That was like 2012 too, or 2013 when I started high school. I graduated 2015. So yeah, I feel like we as a society have grown a lot since then.
Yeah.
But I was like one of like 5, maybe 6 Black people in the whole school. So it was like trying so hard to fit in and then being reminded like, you'll never fit in. But it was a good moment for me because it just like, it was another one of those solidifying moments to go inward and be like, you're always going to be you. You're always going to look like you, talk like you, walk like you. And the sooner that you realize that that's what makes you special, the sooner that all the outside noise quiets down.
Yeah.
So
it's part of the texture.
It was great for me. I was like, you know what? And I didn't care. I didn't end up like, I just gave it up. It was like, I'm not even interested in that level of validation. So,
and to know that at such a young age, I mean, like, I think it's wise to be aware and to take in the initial hurt from something like that. But it's a great leap to be able to grow from it, you know?
Yes.
Because the people that are jaded in their 30s about shit that like fucks them up way back in the day, I mean, you gotta grow.
It's crazy.
You know?
It's crazy. In 7th grade, somebody was mean to me, and that's why I'm this way. Sounds crazy.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still have some of those like little hurts where I'm just kind of like, I'm pretty sure I talked about it a lot when LaRussell was on, but like I grew up a fat boy. And so a lot of my trauma and a lot of my like comedy comes from like me kind of talking about like how I used to be fat and like how I'm not there anymore. But that's a part of me that I consider great. Like
that's your texture.
It is my texture. Because if I grew up pretty, if I grew up a good looking person, like just like, you know, and the world offered the things to me, I would have no texture. I'd be 2-dimensional.
Right.
But you know,
need them.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that people didn't like us for however the way we looked.
You need it.
You got to look inward and you got to work from inside of there because that never diminishes and that never changes.
Right. And I think it makes you, it gives you depth. It gives you depth when you're reliant on the surface and on the superficial things like how you look and your skin tone and all these things. It's like you miss out on the beauty that really is the world because the surface is it's so minuscule.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, like because it's beautiful because now you got surface, and you got like the beauty inside, right? And I'm sure if you didn't feel beautiful then, you must feel fucking extravagant now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to pop my shit, but
I mean, in the DMs, are people trying to slide in?
You know, actually, I've built, and I was really intentional about this early on. Like, I've built a kind of platform where men don't even approach me in that way. Like,
good.
I mean, you know, some do, or they'll shoot their shot, or they'll try, but it's never like disrespectful, or I'm not like a hypersexualized woman. I'm like very respected for my mind and my business and my work ethic. And I love that for me. Sometimes I'm like, it's twofold.
It's twofold.
It's twofold because it's like, you know, you might never meet somebody because they think you're unapproachable, or like they're like, I'm not going to reach out to her on that type of time because she's not that type of woman. But it also like it keeps the noise away, which I prefer. I think that anything that's like for me will find me in that realm anyway. So to keep my business very business is like, I've done it well.
And it's cool. I don't think people need to slide into DMs anymore.
Right? Can't we meet in real life or on a whim or something?
You definitely strike me as like meet Tietta in a coffee shop type of gal.
Yeah, I don't hang out in coffee shops. Don't look for me
then
there.
Never mind. Meet Tietta, you know, in a very rare like a crossing of universes type of moment.
Very rare. That's how you'll meet me. Very rare.
Wow. So I mean, it's so cool that to bounce back from such dark times into such bright times because we love to see you win, and I love that. You are you are present, like not just in the background where like easily like what you've done for LaRussell and what you've done for everyone else, like can easily, Tietta could be in the background.
Yeah.
But now like you're at the forefront of the camera. When I had Yacy on, he was telling me that you just started your YouTube channel. He said, well, yeah, she just started. She's at X amount of subscribers. By the time this episode comes out, she'll probably be at 1,000. Guess what? You're past 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And so things are brought to fruition.
Yeah. It's really cool. Shout out to LaRussell. He was really intentional about that, about making sure that my face, my presence, my work, everything that I do in the background was brought to the forefront. He said that he did that like how his dad groomed him to be like business savvy and everything. He was like, nope, that was intentional. So that way I'll have my own brand and my own business, and you know, I'll be able to stand on my own as Tietta. Like Tietta helped LaRussell, but Tietta is her own business and her own entity as well. So shout out to everybody who supports me and cares about what I have to say. You for wanting me on this platform, and yeah, it's really beautiful. It wasn't intentional for me until. It wasn't actively intentional. Choose my words wisely. For me until like this year, like that was like, I'm going to build my brand. I'm going to build my YouTube. I'm going to be intentional about doing interviews and all of these things to really like stand on my own as an individual. But before then I was really just like working. And then any type of like little content or pieces that I felt like made me stand out, I would post, but it wasn't like, I need to create content for Tietta until as of now.
Yeah, and it seems like even though you said it wasn't actively intentional to be a brand on your own, like Tietta is her own brand, right from the get it was.
Bro, shout out to everybody. It's really cool.
Oh God, like it would make sense with someone as talented as you are to just kind of lack dimension in other aspects. Like if you were just strictly businesswoman and just kind of like in the back and didn't say much. Yeah. But the fact that you're the best of both worlds is the reason why you got your own brand. It was the reason why we see you as, is why your individuality shines.
Yeah.
Because you killing it.
I love
You're killing it.
I love it. I'm super grateful. I'm super, super grateful that people love me for just being myself. Yeah. Like I'm really not trying. I'm really not. Like this.
That's the beauty of it,
right? It's just me, and that's really the beauty of it, because I can do whatever or say whatever, and like people just be rocking with it because they like me as an individual. So,
girl, when I see a thumbnail and like your name and your face is on it, dopamine already, because it's so positive. Dude, I mean, how many times have I opened your story on IG and like you're hitting the gym at like 8 or 9 in the morning?
Get to it.
Shit, and I'm waking up with like crust in my eyes. I'm like, I gotta get to it. I gotta go, and that's what you're doing.
Get like Tietta.
I gotta be like Tietta. I gotta get on these squats.
That's why I share it. My homie was telling me the other day, he's like, yeah, I can always count on you. That same exact gym picture. Like, you never even show yourself working out or nothing. And I'm like, it's not about me showing the workout. I'm not some like workout guru who's giving you tips or anything, but it's a reminder. Like, if you open up my page, you're going to see me getting to it. And in your brain, you're like, damn, I got to get to it. She already in and out, you know? It's just like, and it's a subtle reminder. I'm not like get your ass up, loser. It's just like, I'm in here. I don't know where y'all at, but I'm in here.
This is what I'm doing. And like, it's influencing. Like it truly does. You're spreading that positivity.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
And it's crazy to think that like your small routine activities of the day can change the world.
Right. That's all it takes.
Like,
do it, share it.
Oh my God. And I'm glad that you're using your platform because your numbers are growing. And even though it is a numbers game, it's the quality that comes behind those numbers is what it's doing.
And those are real people.
Yeah.
Those are real people. Like every time your page grows, like, yeah, I don't see the number as just a number. And watching LaRussell grow his brand and his business really like changed that for me. Because early on using social media, it was just a number. And now seeing like, those are real people who really support you. Like, I run a business, I make money and am able to like support myself and do things and get booked for things. And like this, it's real. They're not just numbers. They're real people.
Not. You're inspiring. You're inspiring for so many different people. Like, you know, especially in an industry where Black females don't get enough light shined upon them. It's so dope to know that you're their Wonder Woman.
That's funny.
You guys are superheroes in this thing.
There's a lot of us out there now. Shout out to all the Black women that are making a way.
Yes.
I love it. I follow every time I see like an influential or like business savvy or, you know, just making it on her own woman, I'm always very inspired. And I'm like, we're making a way because you're right. They're easily overlooked.
Yeah.
But I feel like women are really making like a loud noise. And on both ends, you know, we have women rising in the rap game doing that part of the world. And then you have other women who are like, you know, we're not selling our bodies or it's not all like sexual and all these things. It's like, no, I'm just like a powerful, strong-willed, business savvy, whatever type of individual. And I get to be respected as such. And
Hell
I
yeah.
love that for me.
Oh my gosh. It's so much respect coming across your page. Like it's beautiful that like, it's not just noise and chatter that goes into your algorithm, your feed, your DMs, because like you ain't got no time for that.
That's not even, it's not the energy that I bred.
No,
it's not what I bred. And I love that people come to my page and they know like that's not what it is. If that's what you want, you got to go find a different page who's selling that type of content because that's not what you're going to get over here.
What do you think young you would be saying and thinking if she were like young you that has been, that went through what she went through, that was rigid as you were talking about, if she were to see the noise that Tietta's making in this game now, what do you think she would be saying?
That's really funny that you asked me that. Yesterday, me and Sarai sat and watched the sunset and journaled. And I was like, I got a prompt for us today. And it was write a letter to your younger self. So for you to ask that was like, look at the universe. She would be ecstatic. Good. She would be beyond proud. I think about her often and being the kind of woman that she would have wanted to see in her life. And that's why I'm very intentional on the way that I present myself and how I run my business and, you know, showing that side of womanhood because I just didn't have that growing up. And I didn't really have anybody that I got to look up to and be like, I want to be like that. Yeah. So to become that and know that like, man, everything that happened was really for me. Yeah. It was really for me. And I'm so grateful that it happened because I wouldn't have all this texture. I wouldn't. So I'm really grateful and I get to make her proud every day in doing what I do.
I love that. I think the first time I heard that phrase, like, be the type of person that younger you would want to be. I'm like, oh, and that literally changes my actions as I'm doing it. I'm like, Christian, is this what you want to do at the moment? Nah, right? I'm going to go do this thing.
Is this helping you become your future self?
Exactly.
Because that's who you should be acting like your future self.
Exactly.
Because every day we were watching an interview by Will Smith. I forgot what the platform was, but he was talking about how they're on like the 4th Bad Boys film. And he's like, we were watching the other 2 and I remember thinking back to like those times, and I was so focused on like, I want to be the biggest movie star and da 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 da. And he's like, to this time watching those back, I'm realizing I was living it.
Mm-hmm.
At that time of me striving for it so badly, I was living it. I was actively creating it. And so he's like, this time I'm just so present in the fact that I'm living it, you know? And it really resonated in like, we're living it.
We don't know when it's happening.
It's literally happening right now.
It is. This is what's happening. Like you being here right now not only changes the course of my day because, you know, once again, the dopamine of the pheromones that you it's all because of you. Yeah. It's all downhill today after this, you know, because this is the greatest thing in my day.
Nothing could get better today.
Yeah, after Tietta leaves through that door, it's going to be a bleak afternoon. It's all jokes aside, it's the ripple effect. It's kind of just like you being a good person makes me a better person. I'm going to go out to get some lunch and interact with the cashier and be a good person to that cashier. They're going to take that. They're going to take that energy back home to their husband or their wife. And that's what it is.
Yep.
And you display something that I believe, in my opinion, is dying right now. And that's just eye contact, body language, and your time.
Wow.
Because that's more than money to me. I've interacted. I told you I just went to Miami this past week. The amount of rude people on the other side of the country
in the world.
Oh my God. And they're only just a tenth of as successful as you are. And you being this successful human and individual to bless me with their time. I'm blessed.
Blessed and highly. You know what's so funny? Blessed and highly favored. When I first met LaRussell and we hung out, I told him, you better feel lucky. And I didn't even know at the time, but that was how I felt about myself. And I was like coming into this transition period of just like betting it all on myself. I was coming out of a relationship and I felt really like broken down and like I needed to rebuild myself. And when I finally met LaRussell and was able to talk to him, that was like 8-10 months post breakup. And I just felt like a power and a force to be reckoned with. And I wasn't even doing anything substantial. It was really just like inner work at home of just being focused and, you know, getting my mindset right and everything. But when I met him, I was like, you better feel lucky. For me, it was like that I'm giving you like time or whatever, like just a joke. But he brought it up after that. And it made me realize like I was speaking of myself as if I was already who I am 3 years later. You know, I had no idea the effect I was going to have on his life, but I also did.
Because you never know, once again, that it's happening when it's happening. You were planting a seed.
It's happening.
You were planting a seed, and it's happening. You guys grew a motherfucking garden up in this thing.
Man, he has a bar in a song that was like, moved T to the V in 2022, copped a new estate in 2023. And I was just like, damn.
Shit doesn't move this fast for anywhere, like, or anyone else. Like,
year?
You were the catalyst. I mean, like everyone was already like things were already in motion, but you know.
Yeah. It feels crazy to be that sometimes. Like some days I wake up and I'm like, I'm so tired of being T. Like one day I want to wake up and be somebody else for a little bit. And then most days I wake up and I'm like, I'm so glad that I'm me. I wouldn't want to be anybody else.
You are you.
Because I'm a force. Oh. And I know it.
Yeah, I mean that's so good that you know it. And you got a good balance of the confidence, the talent, and the humility. The way that you were talking about, like, it's crazy to just be me. Like, you just stopped in your tracks because that's the humility in you speaking.
Yeah.
And the success wouldn't be there unless, like, you were grounded in some of those moments. And it's not necessarily coming from, like, a timid, dark place, but, like, you know, at the end of the day, Simon was telling me, like, we're humans first. And then we're everything else second, you know?
First, and every single one of us is that first. Yeah. Which, that's the most beautiful part because it means like you can relate to anybody. Like we all go through the same human trials. Yeah. Nobody's ever bigger than being a human.
What's your favorite thing about yourself?
That's a great question. how much I care.
I love that.
That's a double-edged sword, but I'm glad I care as much as I do, because sometimes I worry on how much others don't. Yeah. And I feel like the amount of care that I put into things, it's like it's trying to balance the scale, you know? It can be really scary out there in the world, but I'm glad I care as much as I do, because it's what makes me so human, and it shows in everything that I do, and it's why I'm so great, because I care so much.
Yeah. You were saying on Neighborhood Heroes that you're selfless, and that's a beautiful thing, but it also can be to your own detriment. And I know those words like no one else, because that's the life that I was given. I get it from my mom, because my mom is so generous to a fucking fault.
Yeah.
And I've adopted so much of that in my own life, of just being selfless and not even asking for anything of it. And it's gotten me places. It's definitely brought me success to care that much.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like given me some of my hardest days. And to be able to connect with you, and even the words that you said on that interview, to feel seen and heard.
Yeah.
And like to know that like you're doing it, but yet have brought yourself, you know, this far.
Yeah.
It's so dope to see. Like, what are some examples of like when you were so selfless, like it felt like detriment?
Sheesh. Damn.
I'm sorry to open that wound.
Well, I was just thinking, like, those selfless moments usually come from interactions with other people, and I don't want to be too specific, because I still love those people, and I don't want it to feel like I'm speaking poorly of them, so I'll speak more general.
Okay.
But I've gone above and beyond in ways of like house and home for people. Like you don't have to pay rent. Here's a place for you to stay, you know, just for you to get back on your feet, and then to be spoke poorly about behind your back, or, you know, just overly used. Like the kindness that you were given, it's like no care or no extra consideration, even though it's like I'm giving beyond anything anybody would give you. Like that level of security and safety in providing somebody a home is like that's the ultimate luxury in this life, and then everything else comes afterwards. But if you have a safe place to lay your head at night, food in a fridge, and, you know, lights to come home to, that's I'm giving a lot. So to be mistreated and spoken poorly about was just like damn. Selfless to a fault. I could have saved myself the stress. I would do it again, but I could have saved myself the stress if I would have chosen not to. But that's also why most people choose not to, and that's why I feel like it's so important that I care so much, because I'd do it again.
Yeah. Oh man, humans are crazy like that.
Crazy.
Because a dog will get hurt in a situation, and the dog's instincts will be like, I'm not going in that alleyway again. There's a raccoon there that I ain't gonna fuck with.
The raccoon's long gone.
The raccoon's long gone. But humans will fall in love with that raccoon and then be like, I don't care if it has rabies. I'll get rabies over and over and over.
Might not bite me next time.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
But I've always been, well, first thing is that it's crazy that you've grown to such an extent where you are willing to love and get hurt. Coming from your background where you loved and got hurt, you know, growing up in the foster care system, that it takes a lot of willpower, maturity, wisdom, and, you know, and risk comes with love. It takes a lot to be able to like, I'm down for it all again.
Damn.
Because I've said this before. I've said, like, you know, I'd rather be a good person who cares too much and gets hurt rather than a bad person who didn't care enough and avoided that pain.
Yeah.
Because
you never know who you're saving.
Mm-hmm.
You never know who you're saving. It's crazy. Actually, now that I think about it, that happened years prior. And then I met Sarai and I did the same thing for her. I was renting out a bedroom and I was like, you can come stay in this bedroom with me and we'll figure it out from there. And knowing full and well what had happened prior. And of course, going into it with that knowledge and that care and trying to lay better boundaries and be more communicative on like, this is what I'm not okay with and whatnot. But it was the best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
It was the best thing that I ever did. I would do it all over again.
It's risks. It's the thing. Like, what does love even feel like if there was no risk? Then that shit's flat, right?
It's not love.
It ain't love.
That's not love.
Do you like know those moments? It's like those moments of like when you're interested in someone and you send that text. You send that like that
risky
one,
one?
that risky text, and you throw that shit against the wall. You're just like, I shouldn't have sent it. I shouldn't have sent
Turn
it.
your phone off.
Turn your phone off, and then there's a ding, and like and then you look at it, and that person feels the same exact way.
Yep.
It's because of that risk that we get addicted to that feeling, that feeling of love. You know.
Damn. That's kind of scary.
It is scary, but it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
Tietta. I mean,
that's true.
I mean, like I. What are you thinking about right now? You're looking into the corner of your eyes.
The human experience. It's like, damn. It comes with it.
Yeah,
it comes with it. Like all of it. The fear, the chaos, the risk, the hurt. It's like it would be flat.
It would be.
It will feel flat and pointless without all of it.
Mm-hmm. Everything that you guys are doing, that's risk too. You know, there's love in this game with the industry and everything you do, the work that you put in, the little chatter that says it ain't gonna happen. We could easily just be like, nah. But because what we're gambling is our time and energy.
Sheesh.
To put into other things, into safer things. You know, that's why what you guys are doing is a beautiful thing.
Right. It's a bet.
It is a bet. Damn.
It's a bet.
My gosh.
You know, Larissa had said in the interview one time, and I was like, it was just like so settling. He was like, if the only thing in between me and getting what I want is the work, I'm gonna have everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have everything. And I was just like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many other small factors. Oh, damn, dude.
If it's just work, that's it.
That's it?
That's it?
That's an easy equation.
Oh, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it all.
Tietta plus work equals everything you've ever wanted.
Everything under the sun.
That's a simple addition.
What did you tell Simba? Everything the light touches.
Everything the light touches will one day be yours.
Oh, God.
And Simba's out here just like, what do I got to do? The work? I just got to like not go to where the hyenas are?
Right.
I'm cool.
Right to the hyenas.
Straight. All right, Dad. Love you. Let me just go to these hyenas. Yeah, it does kind of suck that there is a game to be played to be able to like get to some places. You know, you do have to play the algorithm game. We do got to know that it should be in 16:9 vertical.
Right.
Like, we
the
do
little things.
You get to.
What's up?
You don't have to, you get to.
You don't have to. You get to.
Oh, you don't have to. You get to.
You get to.
Wow, man. These are some like sound bites that I need in my mind to be able to.
You need a little button. That's funny. A couple years ago, we were gonna make a Lil Russell button that just says like his famous
let's do
sayings
it.
and stuff. Imagine if throughout your day you're like, damn, I don't want to do this. You hit the button, and it's like you don't have to. You get to.
I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna do it.
You're right, Lil Russell.
Wow, a little Russell button would be crazy.
Right?
What would a
It be
Tietta
eloquent.
button sound like?
Damn. Sheesh. That's for sure going on my button.
That's going on there. That's going on there.
Imagine you clicking, it's like sheesh.
Oh yeah, I would go work out.
You know?
Immediately. No, it's like, it's so dope. Like you are, like how much of it feels real at this point in life?
All of it.
Mm-hmm.
All of it.
Wow.
When I'm in the moment, sometimes it doesn't feel real because I'm like clouded by got to get this done. Make sure this is on point. Don't forget this. Did you check this? So it's hard to like sit in it and it feel real. But that's also why I love home so much because we're still working a lot, but it's a lot. It's at our own pace. Mm-hmm. When we're on the road, LaRuss was like, we got 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 p.m., this, that. The car's going to be here. It's a lot of like immediate motion. But when we're home, we get to sit a lot more. And it's more of like a text of like, you know, tomorrow at 2 p.m. or the truck will be here or whatever, you know, it's a lot slower. So I get to really sit in it and enjoy my space, my work, the gym, my car, the sunset, you know, I have a lot more freedom with my time. Yeah. And when I have freedom with my time, I'm usually very, very present.
Because the freedom is much more appreciated when everything outside the freedom is fast paced, huh?
Right.
What we don't have a lot of, we really cherish when we actually have it in that moment.
Yes.
And even like there's beauty like in your vlogs too. You do capture those moments of the pop 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 pop. And even though you're not witnessing magic right there, like in your latest vlog where you guys are getting ready for the first show, LaRussell's just saying like, all right, this is the first show and this is going to set the tone for it all. And everyone's just in it. And it's that kind of, that kind of energy is so applicable in so many different facets of life.
Yeah. That
could be like, the way that a coach talks to the rest of their, to the little league team. That could be a bunch of like priests getting ready for like I don't why would there be more than one priest in one church?
I don't know.
Okay, but anyway.
A few weddings.
But you know what I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah, I love when he does those too, because it's like, you can feel the energy like settle in the room and everybody gets kind of locked in. If you watch the Hit Boy Visualizers vlog when we were in LA, he did it in the van too before we left. He's like, all right, we're going to be working with other people. I want everybody to be on point. We control like the tone and the motion, and this is still our set. And it's very like affirming, but like serious, like game time. It feels like game time.
Yeah. Truly is. What are some goals that you have set for yourself? Like, let's talk about like Tietta's art. Like, you ever gonna come out with like a Tietta EP?
Everybody asks. No, I appreciate you asking.
Now listening to the smooth sounds of T's poetry. This is a lifetime in the making.
Damn, really a lifetime in the making. I've been writing poetry for as long as I can remember. Yes. I like the idea of an EP more. I think that my first project will be an EP, and it will be out before the summer is over. I was, the other day I was listening to some voice notes of like my poetry and stuff, and I settled on 5 that I really, really liked. And then I have one that I already did. So I could try to make another one. Really what's stopped me has been the instrumentals. Like the poetry comes easily, but I love the texture. I love that word now.
It's all yours.
That the instrumental gives to it. Like Lead Me to the Water wouldn't have, it still hit, but like the flutes and like that, it was just like, what is happening?
It's a journey.
It's a journey. And I want my first offering to the world to feel like that. I don't want to half-ass it. So I'm just I'm supposed to be getting in with Brian C. Simmons.
Wow.
So we can just like sit and try to create and figure out what happens, or maybe he could score some of the poems I've already written and just try to catch that tone. But it's really just a matter of time. Yeah. Like it's just the work. That's the only thing that's in between getting it out is the work. And I haven't been headstrong on it. Yeah. First, LaRussell comes first, and then I've been doing like my vlogs, my consultations, and like when I do interviews, I've done a few interviews and I haven't cut them up and got that content out yet. So it's like LaRussell, vlogs, content, rest a little bit, poetry, and unfortunately that's where poetry's landing right now, but it'll find its way to the forefront soon. But so much work to be done.
Yeah, even with all the work, like it doesn't seem like you're spread thin. Like it's the same thing that I told LaRussell. Like the quality is not disrupted by the quantity, because even if poetry's at the tail end of the workload priority list, it still comes through. Because like I'd gravitate toward those a lot when you post them. Like especially like what I started following, I checked like some earlier stuff, and there was one that you were doing with Simon on the keys.
Ooh,
just in the garage.
I love that one. Since you never really were into practicing what you preach, I became everything I needed you to be. You never did like when I'd ask you for things. You weren't ready to give.
You have a caption saying like, I was about to not post this, but I decided to. But it's so charming and beautiful and artistic, because like you're like giggling through it too, which brings so much humanness to it.
What the audio didn't capture was in the beginning, you can tell how like that was my first time ever performing, like ever. I think that might have been before the blockchain clip. We didn't even give him a week. We started off lit. Benjamin Button, nigga, I started off sick. Like I had never got on a mic and performed ever, and we were just rehearsing, and LaRussell was like, "T, come do your poem," and I was like shaking. I was so nervous. And then we were on live stream, and he said, "Somebody said, is that Solange?" And that was, and it broke all of that, you know. And that was why I giggled. And man, that's like why we love LaRussell, because he's always gonna bring that level of balance of like, bro, it's not that deep. Just go. Just go. Whatever you create is going to be great because you are great. Just go. So,
wow.
Yeah, I love that clip because that little giggle was like, it was a deep breath.
Sometimes you just need that little, just that little thing to just kind of unlock some beauty, you know? Someone needs to, like before, when I was singing more and performing more, like all it took was like, hey, it's going to be fine.
Right.
Something I've heard is that before a performance, we're all thinking that everyone's against us, but everyone watching us is there. They're on the same team. Right. They want to see us succeed.
Therefore, like, and yeah, that's why that clip that you brought up where he was like, before the first show, he said, I got 10 niggas with me. So if nobody else was to have any energy, I should feel it because I got y'all. And that's why we have that energy about our team, because you know how it feels to go up on that stage. And if you look out and you see at least just one person that's like, it feels good. You're like, okay, I got this. Everything's okay. Even if there's hundreds of people who are just blank staring at you, that one person could really make the world of difference for that performance.
Oh, it does. I used to do this. It's real cheesy, but it's a huge part of my life. I used to be a singer-dancer at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom.
Oh, tight. I could totally see that.
Oh, and I was just like, I was in the whole Christmas getup, and I'm singing, like, during the tree lighting, I'm singing I'll Be Home for Christmas. And it's a beautiful, oh my God, one of my favorite Christmas songs. But there'd be times where you could imagine people, the 20, 30 people watching you at late night on a Christmas evening at Six Flags, how they're not giving you that energy.
Yeah.
And I'll be singing that, and easily that energy could be contagious, and I could be like, why am I doing this? But I would have a similar type of thing where it takes one person in the crowd.
Yep.
And one of my favorite moments that I've ever sang that song, out of the hundreds of times I sang that when I was there, was this old couple crying, looking at me, and it was obvious that meant something to them.
Oh, how sweet.
Because it's not the quantity of people, it's the quality of people.
Once you know that you've connected with one, you feel connected. That's all it takes.
Yeah. And what you're doing, like what you're posting on Instagram, it's crazy because this is a day of technology, is that you don't get to see the people that watch that full video and how that makes them a different person at the end of that video.
Right? Yeah, my favorite one right now is the rap that I did. And it's
break it down, please.
It's funny because it's actually at the end of one of LaRussell's songs. It just hasn't come out yet. But he was like, write something to this and like make the first bar "fuck I look like." And originally I wrote something that was like super motivational, and you know, it wasn't anything like what I wrote. But then I heard his verse and I changed the whole thing, and it ended up being what it is. But people, it's done like really great on my page, and people always message me and are like, you have no idea how badly I needed to hear this. And it's, of course, it's always women because it's talking about men, but whenever I do get those messages, I imagine their face or the feeling that they have, because I get that feeling when I listen to it, or even when I recite it. It's like, it's just like I don't know. It make you feel like, nigga, look, you know, like how dare I play with me or let anybody else play with me, you know? So when people message me that, it's like I get to imagine their face behind the camera of like, nigga, you're right. She said it.
You know, the energy you're giving off right now is it was an answer you gave on a Free Game Friday type thing. It was what's the best piece of advice you ever received? It was like, keep it player.
Keep it player.
Yeah.
Keep it player. Keeping it player is just like, it's taking taking the emotion out of it because it don't be that deep. It don't be that deep. And like a player would never.
Yeah.
A player would never. They would keep it copacetic. Like we're chilling. Like you wouldn't even see me moved. And it's like it's balanced with that, you know? Like that's really for the trials and tribulations. Like to keep it player like, bruh, be cool. Ain't nothing should ever get you out of character, out of your body, out of nothing. Like you set the tone of your life and everything else moves around it.
Yeah.
You gotta be solid in here. But it don't apply to like the sweet stuff, you know?
Yeah. It has, depending. I mean, like it kind of applied when right before you did your poem in the garage. I mean, like because it's deep. It truly is. But also when you're performing it.
But it's not that deep.
Deep.
It's literally just a blip in the day. And it's like just go ahead and do it.
And if you're already dope, just be dope. That's all it is.
Just be you. Like it's not that deep. Just be you.
No need to try when it is already you.
Ooh, that was a bar.
I should rap. Yeah, like it's so cool. I mean, because you got it in you. Like there's that clip of you and Lil Russell doing Monkey on My Back.
Ooh, yeah.
And then
I love
stops.
to rap.
And
I love to rap.
Oh, I can tell.
I love it. I'm not a rapper and I don't want to be, but I love to rap. I be rapping his songs like they're my own.
I hear it.
Yeah.
You know it all. I mean, like even in the vlogs and like you're just watching sound check.
Yeah, it's me.
It's you.
We filmed one of the shows that we did in Seattle, and we didn't have like our little gadget that feeds the audio directly from the board. So it was just raw audio of me holding the camera, and they were like, "Can you shut up so we can actually hear him?" And it kind of hurt my feelings because I was like, I want to enjoy the show too. Like I'm just trying to share it with y'all. And Larissa was like, man, if they want to act like that, then cut the live. Yeah. Like don't let it kill your mood. But
yeah, it's because you're so good at rapping it that they're just jealous.
Right? They're just mad. They don't know all the words.
Yeah.
Keep up and you wouldn't feel away.
I know, right? They're the ones that are behind.
But yeah, I love to rap. It's just it bring out that dog in you. Like rappers get to say anything.
Oh man,
they
like
get to say anything.
I'm not a rapper at all. Like I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm like just a dumb freestyler. But I like to do it. You've seen them. Okay, I'm sorry because they're so crass, but they're just so fun.
Yeah,
is what I do. I had I was telling you that I had Frack on, and then Frack is one of like the best freestylers in the game right now.
Yeah,
I got like the 10 words that he usually has down. I got it right here.
Dead.
But he came through for an episode, and he was just like, yeah, let's just after I do this freestyle, like let's just pass 8s to each other. And I was like, legit? And so I got to freestyle with the guy, and he liked my freestyle so much he invited me to an event where I got to freestyle in front of like 200 people in Oakland.
No, you killed it.
And I think I mean my humble side is saying like, yes, I mean like I did. It was a fun performance. It was great, and I'm blessed with the opportunity. But like that dog in me is telling me I
fucking killed that. I know I killed it.
It's just I know I killed it, Tietta. I know I did.
That crowd was there for me.
But yeah, I was the headliner.
They left after I got off the stage.
But it is those moments of like, whether you're a rapper or singer or anyone doing something on stage, isn't the art of performance an irreplaceable feeling?
It is. And for some reason, rap for me comes so, it doesn't feel as vulnerable. Like my poetry is so, I write only when I feel emotionally triggered. Like that's when my best writing comes out. Anything else is usually just like, it's all right. And I'm usually only emotionally triggered when I'm like upset. Like I'm emotionally triggered happy, but when you're happy, you're not like, let me go write about it. You're just like feeling it, you know? But when you're upset, it's like writing is my release. I journal a lot. I'll just write about my day. If I don't have a pen and paper, I'll literally take my phone. Like the iPhone 15 has like this little special button, and you can make it anything that you want. And for me, it's voice memo. So literally I can just press and hold it and it'll take a voice recording immediately. Like that's how important writing is for release for me. It always has been. But it's so deep and it's so heavy, and it doesn't have like, that's why I want the instrumentals underneath my poetry, because it gives it rhythm and flow and motion, you know, like raw poetry is just a cappella, and it's like you set a rhythm, but I don't know, rap is just like, nigga,
oh my
you know?
God, yeah. And it's like the shit that you're saying too. You're right. It is like there is beauty in the vulnerability that comes with poetry, and that has its time and place. You know, like when you're feeling a certain type of way. But like rap, like you can't change that.
You can't, and nothing else feels like it. Like pop doesn't, R&B doesn't, country doesn't. Like rap just has this like. To it, you know?
Like I can't work out to, I mean, I will work out to like, it depends on the day. Like I'll work out to something slow, but I'm not going to get those reps in.
And you're not going to, it don't give you that feeling.
Yeah.
It's not going to give it to you.
Frank Sinatra's not going to make me like hit a PR.
It's not. It's just not. Like some days I'll listen to audiobooks, or, you know, I'll just let my Discovery Station play so I can find new stuff. Yeah. And I always end up cutting it off and turning on some rap because I know it's gonna make you PR.
Oh, dude, another one with like LaRussell on the Hit Boy project. That's the one that makes me do another one
every time
on that last rep.
Every time,
dude. What does a workout with you feel like? Are you just like, you must be killing it in the gym? Like I'd be scared to work out with you.
I'm dead. I'm very focused. The gym for me is my me time, and it's incompromisable. Like I have to go to the gym. It sets the tone for, it's the win. It's the first win of the day too. And it's like, it's a great win. Your body feels good. Your body's thanking you. Your mind's sharp. It's just, I'm very intentional in there. When I moved Soraya in with me, I told her, I'm like, I go to the gym every day. When I'm home, I'm not bringing boys over. Like that's not my time. Yeah. So if that's what you want to be on still, my space might not be for you, but I'm inviting you into my space so you can, you know, pick up your own routine and your own type of thing. And she's like, no, I'm with it. Like, I'm ready to go to the gym and be focused. And she moved in with me, 2.5 years ago? And she's to the gym every day. Like, she'll be there without me. We used to work out together, but it's too, like, we both be focused. I'm like, I came in here to do 17 squats, you know? So yeah, I don't make a great gym partner. I'm not.
You're just doing your own thing.
Yeah, unless you're like Fonny. Because Fonny is like super Hulk, and you just like, whatever you say, Captain.
Dude, shout out to Fonny. Fonny's the type of guy that if an alien species were to come down to Earth and they're to be like, bring me your finest specimen.
Fonny. Yep.
Bring Fonny. That guy has lines on a human body that shouldn't be on a human body.
Yeah.
But damn, yeah, that's crazy. And that's part of the Tietta effect. I mean, you living with someone and now they go to the gym every single day. That's part of that effect.
Yeah, I love that for her. I love when we're out of town and I see her post her gym pic, and I'm like, you go, girl.
There you go.
You're not relying on me. This is for you.
Man, I like you. You're dope. You're really like, this is the exchange of a conversation with someone as cool as you, like, really makes me love that I'm doing this.
I love it. Yeah, you're building a really beautiful space.
Thank you.
You've built it.
I've built it.
Continuing to build on it.
Yeah. It'd be nice to eventually, and this is not like me putting out an applicant form, but it'd be nice to have like someone on the team eventually, because once again, you were saying in an interview, like, there's pride to be taken when you do something and build something on your own. And what you did for LaRussell, like when he's doing everything on his own, there's some things that fall through the cracks.
Yep.
And you're there to focus on those small little things that he can't get to because he's focusing on like more important stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, the role that you played in that and what that is saying in my mind to eventually have someone in this thing with me would really change the game.
Are you, you're editing these too? Yeah. And you're cutting all the clips. We've been using a platform called Munch. Shout out to Ice Spice.
Okay.
.ai, and it's like it's an AI. So you'll drop the video in, and it'll pick out like 10 to 15 of like clips that it feels like would be great for social media. And I think that it's a great way to like get clips to go up while you're actually going through it, you know? So that way you don't have to wait. And they do a good job. Like, we have like a specific eye for like, this is a moment. And he tested it out and like pulled out his moments and then dropped it in there, and it actually missed a few, but it got a lot of the moments. And so I think it's a good way to like, you know, speed up that editing process. So that way, you know, it feels like something's on your back when you're like, I got to edit it because I got to get it out. And it's like, well, once the full edit is done and you've got like a couple of clips from Munch for social media, then it gives you a little bit more leeway to like really go through and fine tune it. And you might not end up with anything extra. You might be like, no, these clips from Munch are perfect. I don't think I need to pull anything else out of it, you know?
Wow. Well, thanks for that. I appreciate that because it takes a lot of time to edit the episode and be like, okay, these are the moments in the episode that I like. And then now I still got to cut those.
And it adds captions and stuff. Or you can do it without captions. It'll auto resize it for social media. It's super useful. You got to pay for it, but it's worth paying for.
I mean, that's, you know, it's either that or my time, time is way more finite, I would say.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Do you remember how these end? But I'll give you an option this time. You don't have to do it. And I've been implementing this new thing, especially since I've been having a lot of rappers on. So we'll either, we could end the episode if you don't want to, but if you want to level up with me, we could go ahead and do some improv. Or we could go ahead and freestyle rap.
Damn. I do love to rap. I don't know how great my freestyle is.
Or you could spit a written over a beat if you want me to.
Let's do improv.
Let's do some improv?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never improv'd in my life.
Have you acted before? Like, have you been in like anything?
I took what are they, like the stage classes in high school?
Oh, like theater?
Yeah, I took a theater class for like a half a semester. And then I switched it to public speaking.
You must have been so good at acting.
I loved, no.
But public speaking, it's obvious.
I loved public speaking, yeah, it was really good. But I don't know. For some reason, I get stage fright when I'm not being myself. Like if it's not just me like, hey, what's up, y'all? And I know I can rely on my personality. Yeah. I get nervous.
Wow. Like when there's lines attached to it and you're a different character.
Poetry for me. It's like lines and like I have to like, you know, get into a moment and a rhythm. And that's why it gets so nervous. Like I can't just be like, hey, I can. But like, you're not going to feel it if I'm giggling through it, you know?
Okay. Well, once again, as a reminder, the way that these improv scenes work is that they could be about anything or everything having to do with the episode, or it could just be off the top of the dome and doesn't have to do with the episode at all. So, all right. Any questions before we continue?
Y'all can't see. Oh, you can.
They can see it. They can see it. She's a little nervous.
No. Nah, I'm not even nervous. I'm ready.
Dang, you got that dog in you.
Woof.
Yeah, if there was anything to like come through from this, it's like this is for sure not serious at all.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be super serious.
Oh, dude. It's immediately about death.
Right. Oh my
God. All right. Without further ado, baddies, ladies and gentlemen, can't be that bad. All right. Next up, we have a cafe maca. We have a caramel macchiato for a Tietta.
Oh, hi. Yeah, that's me.
Hi, Tietta. Is this is for you? Did you want a small, medium, or large?
What did you say the drink was?
A caramel macchiato.
Oh, that's not what I ordered.
Oh, that's not yours? Okay, what did you order?
I ordered a chai latte.
A chai latte. Yeah. Well, guess what? I was messing with you. Here's your chai latte.
That's why you couldn't read it.
I couldn't read it. Yeah, because I was just messing. You just gave me good energy.
Thank you.
And I just thought I could have some playful banter with you. That was so rude. Oh my God. You just spat that out?
I'm sorry. That was really not good. It was really not good. And I'm sure that it wasn't your fault, but I think that you should remake this.
You think I should?
Or actually, I'll just take my money back. It's okay.
You take but we're a mom and pop business. You don't want to help out?
Just keep it.
Just keep
all
it
of it
completely?
Yeah. It's okay.
Cut to a car ride with Tietta and a friend. Wow. So is that like why you don't really like to meet people at coffee shops? It's just they just keep making your drink wrong?
Yeah, the last time
Hands on the wheels, by the way. You can't just be driving and stop. Jesus Christ, we're on 780 right now.
I have a Tesla.
Oh, that's completely fine then, T. All right.
Goes to sleep.
We're having a conversation. You can't just go to sleep in the middle of it.
Sorry. Back to driving.
All right. So, like, yeah, what do you don't like meeting people in coffee shops?
Yeah. Well, the last time that I met a guy I'm still driving, that I met a guy in the coffee shop, he turned out to be like a serial stalker.
Oh my God.
His like prime objective was to steal all of my left socks out of my drawers.
Oh my God. Why just the left?
I don't know. He has like a fetish for right feet. So I don't know. It didn't make a lot of sense to me.
That makes zero sense, actually.
Sense.
Left socks had a fetish for right feet only.
Yeah, it was like he wanted the left sock on the left foot, so that way the right foot could be like bare.
Very weird. Very weird. Okay, so
It
like,
didn't last long.
so if not coffee shop, it didn't last long, as in like you guys started a relationship?
A little bit.
Oh, you were like,
I mean, that's how he got into my house. Is still all my socks, left socks.
So if not coffee shops, like where do you like to go?
I really like zoos.
Cut to a zoo. Hey, I recognize you're Tietta. Oh my gosh.
Me? No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Cut back to the car. So you don't like meeting people at zoos either because you just shoo them away. You just.
That's actually how I deflect. Like, men who are easily turned down are probably not going to last very long. So
They need to be persistent, is what you're saying? Okay, where else do you like to go if it's not coffee shops or zoos?
I also really like gymnasiums.
Gymnasiums, like, are you saying? Does that mean like a gym, or do you mean like a place where gymnasts?
No, yeah, like where gymnasts go with like the mats and stuff.
Okay.
Yep.
Cut to a gymnasium or a college showcase of gymnasts are. Oh wow! Look at that flip. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Oh my gosh, are you Tietta?
No, I'm not actually.
You're Tietta.
I'm not.
You're not?
I'm not.
Okay, I'll see you later. Cut back to the car. All right, so I mean, I went with you this time, and that guy was being persistent, not even rude, and not even stalkerish. You just shut him down completely.
He was ugly.
Oh, he was ugly.
Sorry.
All right. Well, I mean, that's completely fine. If you don't like the way he looks, then you don't like the way he looks.
I didn't want to lead him on.
Yeah, you're right.
Tell him my name, then what?
Yeah.
That's my phone number.
By the way, where are we going?
Switzerland.
We're driving from Vallejo, California, all the way to Switzerland.
Yep. Long road trip.
And scene. And I could play with that.
That was great.
That was fun. Yeah, you were being so silly.
Switzerland? I don't know. I want to go to Switzerland. That would be nice.
Oh, is there like something about Switzerland that you like?
Have you ever seen like the pictures of it? Just Google Switzerland.
No, I've never actually.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, where do you like? What's in terms of home? What would Endgame look like? Where's Vallejo is going to be home?
I don't know. I don't know what the future holds, but I love the beach. I love warm weather. I like places with like lots of sunlight and like for it to be open. Great hiking trails, nature.
So just like a lot of the vacation spots, like a lot of like resort type spots.
Anti-city. Like dude. It would never be like New York or something.
Oh no, I'm not a fan of New York. You been?
No, yeah, I love New York, but I would never want to live there. No, it has its own like, what's the word?
Pizzazz.
Yeah.
Is that the word you want?
I wanted to say another word, but I was like, I'm gonna say it wrong, and we're on camera. I'm gonna say it when we get off camera.
Now that you've done like a bunch of interviews, is it getting easier and easier for you to just get those nerves off? Like if you ever were nervous before an interview?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really nervous all the way up until I hit the front door.
Wow.
And then it's like, you're just a person.
Wow.
We're just going to have a conversation.
Well, that's exactly what this was. It felt like a conversation. Felt like I was just getting to know you. So thank you for coming on. And thank you for having this great, dope conversation with me. Before we get out of here, please look into your camera. Tell the listeners, if they don't already know, tell the listeners where they could find you, what they have to look forward to and whatnot.
Okay. I felt like I was going to do improv again, but I decided not to. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, all under TT's T, spelled TEETEESTEA.
Wow. Nice. And before we get out of here, one more thing from you. Please, once again, look into the barrel of the camera. Leave them with a phrase, a saying, or just any words that they could go about their day with that reminds them that it can't be that bad.
I was going to say that. It can't be that bad. This has been my mine lately. Chin up, chest out. That's how you need to approach the world.
Love that. Love that so much. Thank you for blessing my studio with your great vibes, great energy. And until next time, because there will be a next time. And I appreciate you so much. Baddies listeners, you guys know where to find me. You guys know where to find this podcast because you're already here. Shout out to you, Tietta.
Shout out to you.
Thank you so much. I can't take compliments. I'm going to implode. But I appreciate you. And until next time.
Thank you.
Peace. Bye.
Bye, guys.
It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad.